Welcome to City Show Radio. Pat O'Melia here. Are you there? As I say every week, well, I didn't say it last week because we had to cancel the show because somebody was late in the studio and have a cascading effect on all the other shows. So we didn't do a show last week, but I say almost every week, download the app, tell your friends, download the Live 365 app. That's where you get our programming, and we got a lot of programming starting here. We got things going on, but there's a ton of other stuff. For that matter, I was just sitting here today with a representative from Hoboken High School. Looks like we'll be bringing in Hoboken High School students into our studio and radio production program. I'll be putting a radio station maybe in Secaucus High School. I'm talking to Secaucus High School, too. The trick there is we got to bust the kids in. Put a radio station in Hoboken High School. We'll be putting one in North Bergen. Pretty soon I'll be broadcasting live on the boardwalk in Seaside Heights as I try to help the state with tourism. But you won't know that unless you download the Live 365 app. So go there, download it. It's free, and there's a ton of other programming there besides my stuff. There's a lot of music, any kind of genre of radio list you want to listen to, podcasts. The Live 365 app. When we come back, we're going to talk about, well, I didn't get to review the election results, so we'll talk about that. We got to talk about Israel and Iran. Boy, did that thing blow up quick over there. I want to talk about medical billing. I was in the hospital in February for like 8-9 days. The bills are coming in, and the hospital gives you a payment plan, but you get all these other bills. I mean, they never stop. These little 200 here, 300 there. There's a lot of stuff here, a lot of politics we want to talk about. Want to look at the mayor's race for Jersey City going forward. Maybe we'll dip in a little bit with the Hoboken mayor's race. But all that and so much more when we come back. You're listening to City Show Radio here on GGR. I'll be right back.
Comprehensive healthcare is here, here, and here. RWJ Barnabas Health is healing, enhancing, and investing in Hudson County with its 2 newest locations, Hoboken and Exchange Place. Within walking distance or accessible by mass transit, our locations combine convenience with primary and specialty care, including cardiology, women's health, orthopedics, cancer care, and more. Let's be healthy together.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and launch inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
We're back, City Show Radio. Albert H. Hopper in North Arlington. And you got Johnny Burns there on Tunley Avenue. Wherever you're buying a headstone in New Jersey, 99% sure John's doing the engraving there on Tunley Avenue. He is the preeminent headstone and monuments and plaques. There's a lot of plaques he's done. Oh, the 9/11 Memorial Fountain, who I got to get with Mayor Fulop about. We got to bring that back. I'd like to put it in the park somewhere. That big obelisk you see down there on Broadway and Route 1 and 9, that's been there for a million years. John did the dedication plaques on there. John's done a lot of stuff. He's really a great guy in Jersey City, one of the best people you'll ever run across. And if you want work that will certainly last for all eternity, I wrote that commercial about 20 years ago when I was back in the early radio days. Johnny Burns there, 787 Tunley Avenue. All right, let's talk about this. First, so tomorrow, you got NJCU. They're doing a weekly show. Andy Acebo's at some university conference somewhere. So his assistant, his co-host will be hosting. And I got us some guests. I'm doing a show tomorrow for North Bergen High School called The Best and the Brightest. We're bringing in 4 or 5 kids who receive full scholarships. And we'll be talking about that and their high school experience and how they accepted the colleges, how they applied, that sort of thing. And when you have somebody like a NJCU hosting it, they'll have a lot of good questions. And the NJCU, it's a good show. If you got questions about college, university, getting your kids ready, about programs, you're an adult, you want to go back to education, should be listening to that. And that's every Wednesday at 1 o'clock, right? Yeah, 1 o'clock on Wednesdays, live. You can call in. Call in here. We didn't open the phone bank yet, 855-999-0799. Then on the 26th, tentatively, this Thursday, we have the Jersey City Public Safety coming in. That's got to be confirmed yet. I have a commissioners meeting I got to cover, so I'll be here for about half of that show. And I think on July 2nd, we have the JCMUA. But we'll have that confirmed up later in the week. All right, so we had an election. You may have noticed that. We had some primary elections. My personal friend, Steve Phillip, did not do well. But I tell you what, he ran the best campaign of all of them. Steve Phillip was everywhere. I mean, we got a house in Seaside. I'd be in Seaside, Ocean Township, Ocean County. I'd see Phillip signs there. Phillip was everywhere. Yeah, he didn't win, but he didn't lose because he didn't try. That's for damn sure. He certainly out-campaigned Russ Baraka and Cheryl. I tell you what, Jack Citarelli won in the Republican. I think he out-campaigned Jack Citarelli. He did a good job. The thing was, him and Russ Baraka were trying to split the same votes. And if one or the other was not in the race, it might have been a different outcome. You start to wonder, because Russ Baraka is being considered for a lieutenant governor. Did they ask Russ to run to knock down the Phillip support? That has happened. In Jersey City, Hudson County, we've had many situations like that where we would run people with the same name. Like your name was Manzo, we'd find another Manzo person to run. That is, anything is possible in New Jersey politics. But Steve did it, ran a good race. He finished, what did he finish? Third in there, I think, overall. Russ a little better. Steve also, Cheryl beat him in Hudson County, which is unfortunate because that's your county. But there was the influence of Mayor Brian Stack. Now, Brian Stack is noted for getting the vote out. You're going to go vote whether you like it or not in Union City. You're going to get that vote out there. He didn't send you 50,000 pieces of mail for you not to get out there and vote. So, believe me, Brian goes over the voting rolls. He's going to see who voted and who didn't. And, it's like the Santa Claus list, You're on that naughty or nice list. You didn't vote, you're on the naughty list. He might call you. You've heard rumors of that. I don't know if Brian ever did that, but I could see Brian, shaking hands and meeting people at events and whip out this scroll. Let me see here. Well, you didn't vote. You don't exist in my world. But Brian could get the vote. He got out about, I think the whole total out of Union City was like 9,000 votes. And about 6,000 of them was Brian pushing them in the voting booth. And that you can see that in the voting results for Jimmy Davis, who I like Jimmy Davis. I endorse Jimmy Davis. And Jackie Sherrill. The difference between them and Phillip was almost the same. And that came out of Union City. So Brian did a good job. He got the vote out. He pushed the vote out there, whatever word to say, push, get it out, whatever it is. But he's good at doing that. 31st District, that's with Barbara Stramato. Known Barbara probably since I've been doing this in the 90s with the radio shows. Good woman, hard worker. She's lost close. She finished third. Jerry Walker, a friend of mine, who's commissioner for the last, I guess, 8 years now or something like that. He'll do a good job in the assembly. He's got to win the election yet, but Hudson County, we only got like 7 or 8 Republicans here, so there's really not a lot of votes to get. And Sampson, the incumbent, those two guys are going to be going back to Trenton. And Barbara will find something. She's a very capable woman. She'll find something to do here in New Jersey, I'm sure, on a political level. I think she'll still be the chair of the Jersey City Democratic Organization. In the 33rd District, 32nd District with Hoboken, Katie Brennan, I endorsed her. She won. Robbie Bala won, the mayor of Hoboken, beating out my buddy, Jessica Ramirez. I texted with Jessica afterward. It's hard to talk to these people after they lost. I supported Lou Manzo a lot. I've seen the agony of defeat. So you want to give these people a little break before you start encountering them again and talking to them. I even gave Mayor Phillip like a week. And I said, I just texted him recently. I said, we got to know what we're doing going forward here. Where are we at here? I got some other, as I said, we got to talk about where you're going forward and some other city nonsense we got to go through. Jessica, I've been texting what I do got to reach out. She was doing a radio show here. She was doing a pretty good job of it. She should probably return to that, but let her lick her wounds right now and get over the defeat. It's unfortunate. She was. There's other places for her. There's council races. There's commissioner races. There's a lot of places for Jessica to work. But right now, let's see if we can get her back into the radio. In the 33rd District was a complete blowout by the forces of Stack. And again, Brian's been drilling down into that constituency a long time. He knows where you all live. So he knows your address. He sends you all that mail. He expects you to get out there and vote. And they did. Larry Weinstein and Gabriel Rodriguez, the former mayor of West New York and the incumbent assemblyman, they won hands down, beat Tony Hector and Frank Alonso. It wasn't even close. But I really had a lot of questions. It wasn't a normal campaign how they ran that. And I questioned if they were really helping themselves. I think all they managed to do, what they really wanted to do was just antagonize Brian Stack. You want to keep poking the bear. Everything you did, poke the bear. Now, you guys are going to go back into obscurity, and you left the people in elected office in North Hudson and in North Bergen dealing with that poked bear. And poked bear, he's mad. And rightfully so. Tony Hector and Frank Alonso dealt with some people who they knew were just going to piss off Brian Stack. Just again, poke the bear. That bear's going to bite you. Now, you guys went into obscurity somewhere, but there are other people still around. So we'll see how this plays out. Going forward with Brian Stack, Weinstein, and Gabe Rodriguez, I see Gabe and Brian, they can probably coexist. I don't see Larry Weinstein. Guy's self-made, very successful person in the business world. It's finally won an election. He's run against Nicholas Sacco here in North Bergen. I don't know, 3-4 times. Never even got close. I just don't see them coexisting for 2 years. And it's not, Brian doesn't play well with others. Brian Stack. He's very much, I'm Brian Stack. I'm 10 years older. We have the same birthday. I know exactly how Brian thinks. He's got the same, I'm a loner and I don't work well with others. I'm the same guy. The old days, Brian would ask you if you want to get punched in the nose. He would actually say that to people. You want to get punched in the nose? Brian, that's how Brian, tough guy. And I just don't see them two coexisting. But we'll see what happens. They are up for re-election in 2027. For that matter, I think North Bergen, the commissioners are up for election in 2027. But they might be in May. They may not be in November. So Larry possibly could try a double bite there. Run for mayor, lose that, and then run for assembly. But I just don't see Brian saying, "I'm going to do another 2 years with you." I just don't see that working out. And I had said before, I'm talking a lot about Brian here. He does his job well. But he should be the benevolent guy. He should be the kingmaker, the person that organizes everybody, gets everybody together. You got the old Lions. You got the Albio series, Richie Turner, Nicholas Sacco. Brian's still got at least another 20 years in him, unless he just completely aneurysms one day at the mayor's desk there, because he's constantly there. Many of the old Lions will be gone. Now, you got the young Lions who are in the cage yet, the Rob Menendez Jr., Stephen Fulop, the Solomons of the world. There's a lot of young guys coming up that Stack will have to deal with. But he should be the benevolent guy. He should be the one encouraging people. He should be the foundation builder. But that's not how he operates. And it's unfortunate. He could be that guy. Getting to the governor's race, Cheryl won. Jackie Cheryl, which I call the helicopter lady. For that matter, one of the things I asked Mayor Fulop a week before Election Day, I said, you got a week. Could you learn how to fly a helicopter to close that gap a little bit? But he didn't learn how to fly a helicopter. It'll be Jackie Sherrill versus Jack Citarelli. I tell you, getting a lot of positives from Jack Citarelli. We'll have him in the studio. We'll have Jack on. I'm going to see if we can book Jack. I might give Jack his own radio show. I've been talking with his people. I'm sure I'm going to be talking with Cheryl's people, because who's running this campaign now? Ben Kopel from Monmouth County. I know Vinny for a long time. Met him with Ray Lesniak. He was in the studio a few times. Vinny's a good guy. For that matter, he's helping my studio program. He's the guy getting me in touch with people at Netflix in Monmouth County. So I'm training these kids on studio production, editing, lighting, camera work, and all that. And we made inroads already with Dan at Cinelise. Ray Graves at Bayonne is helping us with 1888 Studios. And Vin is helping us with Netflix. So I'm sure somewhere along the line, Vinny's going to go, hey, that Amelia guy, who I know, he's got a studio. And I think he's got a radio thing going on. We should talk to him. But we'll get Cheryl and Citarelli in here. I've been dealing with Jack. I guess the last couple of weeks, a lot of texting going back and forth. So we'll get him in here. It'll be an interesting showdown between Cheryl and Citarelli. Not since the 60s had the Democrat won 3 terms in New Jersey. So statistically, Cheryl's behind the 8 ball. If Trump stays as successful as he is right now, and he's doing well, this thing in Israel and Iran got a lot of that Reagan light on him now. He's got some Reagan light on him. That would, I'm going to get into Israel and Iran. Back in '79 when they took the hostages, I didn't forget those 444 days. Reagan made it very clear that there wasn't going to be a 445th day. He made it clear to the Ayatollahs over there, once I take my hand off that Bible as I'm sworn in, it's going to be the 4th of July. And they knew it. As soon as he took his hand off, they're free. Free. I'm free. I'm free. Get him in the plane. Get up there. Call Reagan right now. This is before cell phones and all. Get a message to Reagan right now. Get some smoke signals going before he sends them B-52s that were in the air over to us. So Trump's got a lot of that going on for them. The Supreme Court's been rolling his way. And the other thing, the price of eggs, I should have wrote this down. Price of eggs yesterday, at ShopRite yesterday? Yeah, jumbo eggs was $3.60. The last time I noticed them, they were $5.40. Everybody was talking about the high price egg. Now it's down to $3.60. Nobody's talking about the price of eggs anymore. But the price of gas went up within an hour yesterday. I filled up the van, and the van, it's a Garbone van. I think it's a 1 million gallon tank in the van. It was like $85. I actually went to BJ's where I'm a member, and I got like 30, 40 cents off a gallon. By the time I came back from BJ's, the Quick Check went up 10 cents a gallon. Now, they're saying, well, there might be a problem. They're going to block the Suez, the Straits of Maurus. Maurus, am I pronouncing that right? Maurus, something. It didn't happen. And 2, Trump just did a ceasefire that lasted about as much as you're leaving ice cream out on the sidewalk today. That lasted a long time. Boom, boom, they're shooting at each other again. So, but Trump is rolling really well right now. And that will help Citarelli. The price of eggs, I guarantee you. For that, I should text Jack Citarelli right now. Jack, price of eggs, jumbo, $3.60. Talk about it. Or Cheryl. No, you got to give that to Trump. You can't give that to Cheryl. That's a Republican thing. There's going to be a difference. If Trump is rolling well coming to November, Cheryl's got a real problem. If the economy is doing well, if eggs are $3 a dozen, if the gas price, and I think Trump said something to the petroleum dealers like, don't raise the prices. But I guess Quick Check didn't get the message. Yeah, but I shouldn't. No, keep in mind, this morning as I'm driving up, I got the cars all fueled. Everybody was up now, another 10 cents. So I don't know what made them go up, but I hope Donald Trump goes down to the highway and say, reduce the damn prices. I use a lot of fuel. But if Trump is still rolling well in November, that's a real problem for Cheryl. But I could see Jack walking in to the win there. If the Republicans are doing well, economy is doing well, Russia and that's another thing. I think Trump just said out of Ukraine and Russia. I just can't deal with you guys. Let me settle this war that's been going on forever, and maybe I'll get back to you. All right, let's break for commercial. You're listening to the Shitty Show Radio. I'll be right back.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one pass stop away, or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
We be back. City Show Radio here on GGR. Don't forget, download the Live 365 app. Tell your friends, tell your friends, tell your mom's friends, tell your father's friends, tell your friends. Download the Live 365 app. let's finish up the elections. Now, what happens to Steve Fuller? He's not running for re-election. He could really do it in mayor, run for one more time, but 3 terms, I think, is enough for Steve. What does Steve do? Well, he's not going away. He will be involved some way, some form here in Hudson County. I could see him maybe starting his own party. He kind of started the foundation of another Democratic party. I see him being very involved in Hudson County. For that matter, I want to speak to him about it. What is the plan going forward? Let's see what his game plan is. He has to get involved in the mayor's race here. One of his guys, Bill O'Day, is running. So I assume he would be supporting Bill O'Day, and we'll get out there and campaign for Bill O'Day. I'll find it out maybe today or tomorrow when I talk to the mayor of Jersey City. But anybody thinking he's just going away, like somebody said, well, he lost, and once after January comes by, he'll be gone. Don't kid yourself. Steve Fuller isn't going anywhere. He'll be around Hudson County for a long, long time. I could see somewhere along the lines a real face-off between him and Brian Stack. I see that happening. Oh, Craig Guy. Well, Craig Guy's one of the old Lions, too. Garrett's mentioned Craig Guy. But he's one of the old Lions, so I'm looking a few years down the road. Hey, listen, Craig Guy's in his crosshairs now, so we'll see what that looks like. Bill Spadia. I'm a radio guy, even though I just have a television studio. I started in radio. I'm back here on radio now. Bill Spadia, who looked like he was a shoo-in on the Republican side for the nomination. I mean, he kind of campaigned for 8 years, as all the time he was on NJ 101.5. Especially, yeah, he might have cost Citarelli the last time Jack ran. This time, Spadia became a candidate. Him and Gottheimer. I don't know, whatever happened to these two guys? Spadia was really a front runner at one point, and Josh Gottheimer was the front runner. I mean, everybody was behind Josh Gottheimer, and it was all of a sudden like, goodbye, we don't want to be with Josh anymore. And the same thing with Spadia. And everything just fell apart for Spadia. So he lost. Actually, hasn't conceded yet. Just reading recent Phil Stinton. He runs a website in South Jersey, down the shore. Spadia hasn't conceded, hasn't congratulated Jack, hasn't done any of those normal things you do. Should have. There's no more fight for him. There's been a lot of radio changes going on at 101.5. Dennis is leaving with the Dennis and Judy show. Eric Scott's doing a good job in the morning. I don't think Eric Scott took the job to be a seat warmer for Bill Spadia. And 2, Bill Spadia wasn't one of the favorites of the corporate people there at 101.5. So I don't know where Bill goes. Bill, by the way, we do have some hours open here at GGR if you're interested. We can always use somebody like that. Anybody here with a little experience? You can bring it in here. You want to do morning? You can do mornings. You can do nights. You can do whatever. You want to do weekends? I tell you, name recognition it becomes very important now, and I'm going to talk about that when we get to something you don't really consider until you start looking at election results. Like Jack Citarelli, it's his 3rd time running for governor. He had such name recognition. Maybe that's what toppled Spadia, but Spadia had it too. Yeah, you got to have somebody who really looks at these numbers, and that brings me to James McGreevey in Jersey City. Now, James McGreevey has no constituency in Jersey City, like O'Day does. O'Day is iconic on the west side of Jersey City. He's got good name value, Journal Square, downtown. He's going to be a formidable opponent for any of these guys running for election. But the constituency and name recognition is important. McGreevey had name recognition. Well, it's good or bad, however you recognize his name. I like Jim McGreevey. Tell you, if he talks to you, you're a McGreevey person. If he gets you, don't let him corner you. It's over then. Well, let's talk a little about the mayor's race now here in Jersey City. Maybe we're touching the Hoboken, too. I don't know the players as well in Hoboken as I do here. Yeah, I know Tiff Fisher, Emily Jabbar. I actually do. Ruben Ramos I've known for, 15 years. Mike Russo, I guess I do know him. Never mind. I do know him all. Yeah, I'm a gadfly. I'm a gadfly. I hang around. The mayor's race in Jersey City. Now the attention starts to heat up. For that matter, we just said a young lady is a police officer. She's running for mayor of Jersey City. I'm not really going to pay much more because I'm going to do the debates here. We'll do 2 mayoral debates. We'll do one for NJCU. We'll do our normal Hudson Media one, and we'll do the ward debates. I don't know if we bring into the problem is bringing in the at-large. There's a lot of at-larges. There's 3 on each ticket. We got like 5 tickets. It's like 15 people. I don't have 15 podium to do that. Yeah, it would be like a 6-hour debate if you have 15 people. I don't know how many moderators I'd need. 15, probably need 3, at least 4. Yeah, that gets a little bit of a job. That's why the best job you can have in politics is council at large. Nobody knows who the hell you are. Nobody knows what you do. Toughest jobs be the mayor and a ward council person. Those are 24/7, 365. Council at large, they know you're there. They go to the council meeting and say, oh, yeah. That Danny guy, yeah, he's the council person, right? Yeah. Amy, yeah, damn, I know them. You want to start handicapping the race, and we got like 4 months to go. But, the heat is now going to turn up. It's a normal length of a campaign now, about 4 months. The 2 years that O'Day and McGreevy have been running, talk about a marathon, jeez. But I said to both of these guys, by the time you get to the finish line, all your messages are going to be old. I'm surprised Solomon jumped in as early as he did. But, Solomon, he's probably looking, saying, I got to especially get in it. I think everybody settled their tickets now. I think all the tickets are filled. I know O'Day just announced people. Solomon just announced some. So I think their tickets are all complete. And I know I texted McGreevy on that. He didn't get back to me, but I'm pretty sure his is done. I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at it. I'm putting O'Day in first place. I'm putting McGreevy and say this is just right now. This is win, place, show kind of thing. But I'm going to put McGreevy in second. I'm going to put Solomon in third, Waterman and Masab Ali, fourth, fifth, and the new entry there. I think her name is Christine. Forget that. I'll learn more about the new candidate as I go along. There's going to be a runoff. Who's the runoff with? I'll put O'Day in a runoff. Now, who's it against? McGreevy, Solomon? Yeah, name recognition. You mention McGreevy, everybody knows Jim McGreevy in Jersey City, in the state pretty much also. McGreevy doesn't have that constituency. He hasn't been a councilman here or a freeholder / commissioner. He hasn't helped the constituency. He hasn't pushed through initiatives here in Hudson County or Jersey City. That's going to come back and be a problem. The name recognition aspect of it is huge. Everybody knows McGreevy, and that was big with Citarelli in the primary we just had. He had that tremendous name recognition from running twice before. McGreevy has that. Solomon, I think Solomon will do well downtown. I don't know how well Solomon plays in Journal Square or the West Side or up in the Heights. Well, that's to be seen. I tell you what, the debates are going to be great. But Solomon, I remember he was running for Ward E against Rebecca Symes. He was one of the debaters here in the studio. McGreevy and O'Day are excellent at it. Solomon is good at it also. Joyce, Masab, I never had those guys in for any debate, so I'm not sure yet. But you give me the debate with McGreevy, O'Day, and Solomon, I'm okay. That's good viewing. Yeah, it's good television viewing there. What I'm saying right now, I'm putting O'Day in the 1 spot, McGreevy in the 2 spot, and Solomon in the 3 spot. And the other 3 can battle it out. Who makes it? I think certification is August the 21st to be certified to run for mayor. Got to make sure all your petitions, all your vote signatures are in, and they'll certify you. Will we have 6 candidates? I don't think so. I think by then, maybe 4. I think some of these people will drop out, make an endorsement, and see where it goes. Endorse whoever. But I can see that happening. Now, this is all subject to change. We got 4 months. I've offered all the candidates, except for the new person, an opportunity for the utilize the studio and the radio here. O'Day has done it. I'm sure Solomon and McGreevy. Nobody wants to leave anything on the table. If you're sitting there the day after the election saying, yeah, I should have done that, I should have done this, you don't want to say the should-haves. Because the should-haves, after you go, oh, should have. You know what I mean? Just use a different S. There's a different word. You got to make sure you leave nothing on the table. And I'm positive I got the top 3. Now, it could change. Something can happen. We'll see how it goes. But those are my top 3. And we'll see where the bottom 3, maybe somebody rises to the top. I'm not sure. We had a tragic accident here on Jersey Avenue. Yeah, it's still being investigated. The young kid, 6-year-old kid, hit by a UPS truck. I don't have no official words have been given. I know what I've heard. It sounds like, as I just said, a tragic accident. Everybody's life will be affected. Sadly, it's like when I say in my prayers, I just hope this child gets another chance at life again. And may the parents of this child, especially the father who was there riding the bike with the kid, if he has the strength to carry on. And the same thing with that UPS driver. Think about getting out of that truck and you're witnessing this. He may not be at fault. The kid could have darted out into the street. We don't know. Don't know what the official investigation will say. But that UPS driver, he will be affected for the rest of his life. That visual will be, every time his eyes close, he'll see that. The father, same thing. Hopefully they have the strength to carry on. It is awful. Are we overreacting? Now, of course, the bike gang and the Vision Zero gang is jumping all over this. We got to make walking and riding bikes more safer in Jersey City. Well, here's the problem. It used to be this thing, don't play in traffic, or people would say go play in traffic, get run over or something. It's dangerous in the street. Now, I biked all through Jersey City as a kid. I guess I did at 6 years old, but, it was on my neighborhood back in Dogpatch. Which, I'm thinking about, we had a lot of trucks and trucking companies down there. It probably wasn't a safe place to be biking around back there, but we did it. Now they're talking about, and Bill O'Day came out with a whole initiative. I think he might have shot himself in the foot about red light cams and speed cams and this cam and Mr. Roboto cam, checking everything. Listen. It is a tragic accident. But we're going to fundamentally change everything in Jersey City. You're going to change the roads, everything one way. We're going to put speed bumps. Remember the original Steve bumps? I used to call them Steve bumps. Those monster ones he put in that eventually we had to get Steve to come back, Steve Fulop, I'm saying, to come and shave them. They were so friggin' high. They were like huge. You have to realize what you're dealing with. And I think a lot of the elected officials, they're not so big on the bike lanes anymore. They're riding around the city also. They see they're empty. And now we're on protected bike lanes. You want to lose parking. You're not losing parking for people in Jersey City. People want to come home from work and go in and have dinner, be with their family. What can be done? Again, it is freaking tragic what happened there. And my prayers are out for everyone who is involved in this. It'll affect your lives forever. But completely trying to reorganize traffic here in Jersey City. It's all anti-traffic. I firmly believe, I don't need the bike lanes. Like I said, I rode bikes when I was a kid. We've overdone it. You can have some parts of Jersey City, you can have some bike lanes. The problem with Jersey City, there are very few streets are 2 lanes. Most of them are very tight, 1 lane each way. I was talking about, we should make like Baldwin Avenue one way and Summit Avenue one way. For what? So you can friggin' bike? Give me a effing break here. The city is growing. And when people say, well, people in Jersey City don't need cars, go down to Jersey Avenue and 18th Street, where we built all those high-rises. Now, I'm a Heights guy. I'd go up Hoboken Avenue behind Christ Hospital. There'd be no cars anywhere. There are no cars down there. There's cars all over the friggin' place. It looks like the friggin' ports where the cars come in and they lay them in the parking lots down there. There's cars everywhere. People move to Jersey City they want mobility. You want to be able to go out and go food shopping or take a ride down the shore. I'm not biking all over. Today, now I'm thinking about it. I don't think I've seen a person on a bike today. You want to know why I didn't see anybody on a bike today? Because it's effing hot out there. You're going to bike to work? You better have a friggin' shower and work like I do if you're going to do that. I just came in and when I got into the building, I'm trying to limit my steps, so I get wheeled up here now. Just standing there started sweating my butt off here. You're going to bike in this? Again, I don't even want to try to connect protected bike lanes and biking in Jersey City with this tragedy. I don't want to connect the two. It is effing awful what happened to this young boy. And it's awful for the family and everybody who knew this kid. And I can't stress this enough. My heart goes out to the father, but he is going to live with this for the rest of his life. And it's every parent's worst nightmare. But to go overreacting, That's how we do it now. Everybody gets so crazy about the pedestrian of zero vision. You know, what happens when we have an accident by zero vision? Well, I guess that's a failure then, right? Or should we just take it out? We went too extreme. Now it's time to go the other way. Courthouse Park. I'm scratching off my notes here, so I'll go back to them. Courthouse Park here. What we're eventually going to do with what we call the new courthouse, the big ugly green thing next to the nice-looking Brennan courthouse, the old courthouse, the idea is to put a park there. It's not a wonder if that idea is ever going to exist. But here's a couple of problems. One, guess what we need up there? Parking. There's no parking. We don't need a park. But here's my problem with the park. Do I want to put a park next to a huge building where the whole function of the building is dealing with the worst possible people in the world? Murderers, rapists, all that. You'll be adjudicating them there. Gangbangers. And the way we are now, we let these people out with a slap on the wrist, or we put some away and their buddies are outside and they're all bent out of shape and they want to make some statement. I got mom and two little kids in the park across the street. I don't know if this is a great idea to put a park across from a courthouse. And it brings us to the other problem. We need parking there. There are still businesses on Newark Avenue. There's still people that live there. You still need the park. And probably where the biggest development going on is by Pavonia there on Summit and Central Avenue. Central now goes that far. It is huge. You know, we're not building any schools to go with all these units of housing there. I don't know where the kids are going to go. Maybe it'll be no kids. There'll be no children allowed in these high rises. Nobody will be having sex or anything like that, so there'll be no children to worry about. It'll just be couples, sexless couples. They will have no children. That's not going to happen. But, you know, they may not have children. But guess what they will have? Cars. Probably two. They need to park them. I would think we would rebuild another parking garage there. For some reason, when we built the parking garage for the Greenie Center, turns out we were 25% of the capacity we were considering. So how do we do this? You know, somebody had to sign off on that. So listen, we need parking for X amount of cars. Let's build it to only handle 25% of that. Who came up with that? Who signed off on that? You wonder how these things, you know, I'm talking about wondering. I like fried calamari. We just had it yesterday at a restaurant. I like it on a boardwalk. But I'm looking at this yesterday, and it's like calamari is an octopus. I'm thinking, what Guido looked in the ocean one day and said, look at that ugly fish or whatever that is, and said, you know, what do you say we catch it and we eat that? Who would think about eating this ugly thing? That's pretty good. But, you know, again, somebody has to think these things up and sign off on it. Who's going to eat that ugly octopus? Who signed off on a garage that can only handle 25% of the needed parking? So you need parking. Now, can you go underground parking? I suppose that's probably expensive. Suppose I was told every parking spot costs about $25,000 at the garage. I don't know what it costs underground. Probably $50,000. So I think we should just forget the idea of the courthouse park. And I know there's some park people right now just stabbing themselves in the chest or wishing they were stabbing me in the chest right now. It's not a good location for a park. I want to remind you another thing about parks. We keep crying about, we've been doing parks for the last 30 years here. You get an abatement. Well, if you give us an abatement, we'll build a park for you. We'll build a dog park. That was a big thing back in the early 20s, dog parks. Really, dog parks everywhere. Go to the parks here in Jersey City. Do you see people waiting online with a picnic basket in their hand to get in the park? No, there's no crowds in the park. Go to Liberty State Park. It's not crowded down there. Go to Mosquito Park. Not crowded. We just opened. I'm not even sure what we did in there when I rode right by Mosquito Park. The buffalo and the bear look the same as they always have. I'm not even sure they're a buffalo and a bear. They're probably squirrels that we put so many coats of paint on over the years that you look like a buffalo and a bear now. I ride by and said, what the F did we do in there? You go to Lincoln Park, you see people wave to people? No. It's not utilized. You know, Braddock Park, there's more people in Braddock Park, I think, than Lincoln Park. And Lincoln Park, both beautiful parks. I don't think we need a park up there. We can use parking. You could help the business community on Newark Avenue in Five Corners. But no, let's build a park next to a courthouse where the dredges of the world will be. That's a good idea. So I'm against that. I don't know if you got that. I'm against that. Iran and Israel. Let me take a break first, then we'll get into the Iran and Israel war. You're listening to City Show Radio here on GGR. I'll be right back.
No one plans on heart disease, but everyone should have a plan for it. We help patients of all lifestyles and medical histories plan for healthy hearts. We offer convenient screenings without judgment, hundreds of preventive programs, and women's heart specialists. And we're the largest cardiac surgery program in New Jersey. Make plans for a healthy heart with RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
We're back. Pat O'Melia here on City Show Radio via GGR. Don't forget, download the Live 365 app. Israel and Iran. Now, last week I have my notes. I'm still working on some of these notes from last week about would the United States get involved? And I got the notes here saying all Israel needs from us is equipment. Israel is our safety valve in the Middle East. That's like our little strike force. You want to jump ugly with the United States? You got to go through Israel. Israel could be the Middle East police, and they have been. Between last week and this week, guess what? We got involved. And, you know, I go back to 79 when they took the hostages for 444 days. My mind, we owe Iran for that. And there's some other things, funding terrorism, that sort of thing. That's been proven. No, but they probably have. I don't have a problem taking out the nuclear capabilities of Iran. And I have no problem with Trump doing that. Because if they get nuclear capabilities, nobody's safe. Now, they're constantly screaming death to America over there. I think it's on their money. Where we have God, in God we trust, they have death to America on this. You can't let them have a nuclear device or any devices that are nuclear. So I had no problem dropping the bunker busters, taking that out, and they threw some rocks at us the next day, and they fired some missiles, and nothing happened. So Trump said, all right, we're even. I don't know about being even with that. We just took out all your nuclear plans, and they just hit us with some 4th of July fireworks, but okay. And Trump comes out with the ceasefire. As soon as he announced it, I'm like, that is not going to last long with these two. It never lasts long with these guys. Whether it's Iran or their assistants there in the Middle East, the Houthis and whoever the other ones are, they're going to attack Israel. And what did it last? Like an hour? They started shooting at each other again. We back Israel. We try to get peace. You go through diplomacy there. Iran's got to realize that we're going to back Israel no matter what happens. Even though Trump yesterday or last night on TV used the F word without a delay, saying that they're effing nuts, was it? And he's probably right, dealing with these two parties. Now, but right now, he's made all the right decisions. I don't know, the Democrats are saying, well, they didn't come to Congress for approval. I'm going to do a secret mission here. I'm not telling you people that. First, I'm the commander-in-chief, and I'm happy. And listen, Biden and Obama and Bush, they all did very similar things in the Middle East, in Afghanistan, Iraq, whatever. And then they go to Congress. And you can't go because they can't keep their effing mouths shut, especially the Democrats. Because if Trump comes out and says, boy, the sky is blue today, the Democrats will say, no, it's green. It's green sky. You wouldn't know a blue sky. It's a green sky. Now, whatever he says, they're against. But I mean, there's a song like that. I think it's the Marx Brothers. Whatever you support, I'm against. That's the Democrats now. They are clueless. Newsom guy in California, man, you talk about clueless. The whole friggin' state is burning. This guy has riots in the streets. He's at some wine sipping or tasting event. Yeah, it's real leadership there. I agree with Trump. I agree. Whatever we have to do to support Israel, we do. They've been our allies. Saudis have been our allies. I know there's some people that say they were involved in the 9/11 I hope that's not true, but there are allies right now. And two, somebody just gave us a nice plane. Qatar gave us a nice plane. What's the Democrats were complaining about that? I was watching one of the committees yesterday. The Qatars gave us a pretty plane. I suppose the plane he was using was in bad shape. But who cares? You want to give us a plane? We give billions of dollars all over the country. Somebody wants to give us a plane? Take the plane. I'm all in favor of what Trump did. Whatever he needs to do to support Israel and peace in the Middle East and denuclearize Iran, I'm in favor of it. Yeah. What Trump did, really, it put a Reagan light on him. Everybody, you keep hearing Reagan and Trump now. Reagan, Trump. He's doing like, I'll tell you, when back in 80, when he was getting sworn in, Reagan, here they let the Iranians know. As soon as I take my hand off that Bible, those guys are still hostages, they'll be heroes. Now, I'm telling you, I guarantee you, we had planes flying over there. If Reagan, I tell you what, if Trump is basking in that Reagan light in November, Citarelli is your governor. And we got to feel safe, too. Now, there might be some sleeper cells in the United States, because we keep talking about immigration where 11 million people, 20 million people walked in. They didn't all come from Mexico. Yeah, they're coming from the Middle East. They're coming from China. We were letting everybody in. Come in. Now there's nobody. It's amazing how the spigot shut off there. And I was just watching this thing on the committee yesterday. A congresswoman was saying there's been a 30% in fentanyl coming into the United States. Well, yeah, there's been like no illegal immigration coming into the United States now, and part of that was fentanyl coming in. You closed the borders. And one was arguing about cutting the budget for the ATF and merging it with the DEA. This seems like an idea. They were going to cut out 186 ATF agents amongst 50 states. What is that, like 3 people in each state? I don't think that's a big cut. But somewhere along the line, you got to get a handle on the expenses of government. But I tell you, to watch the Democrats, and for this woman who was beating up the congresswoman, she's in like her 70s. She got blue hair. You have no mirror at home. You're a congresswoman. You come to the committee with blue hair. I can't take you serious. And she wouldn't let our attorney general there speak. He's trying to answer questions. And she just, I want yes or no answers. Your questions it can't be answered yes or no. You have to have some sort of description in the answer. She didn't want to have, yes or no, yes or no. A bunch of idiots. This is what we have now. This is what our country has turned to with the Democrats. Medical billing. Now, like I said, I was in the hospital. I got to get my knees done. And Dr. Mayella thought it was a good idea because they had the flu at the time. Get me checked out to make sure I can handle the operation. I got to get both knees done. Right. I'm thinking I might even do 2 now at once. But let me see how brave I am at that point when it happens. They said we got a bunch of tests. And tests come back, and he was a little leery about, I forget what it. I know I failed the CT scan. It was something I failed. They said, I want to send you to a CT scan. And that's when they found an abnormality, which was, I want to get my knees done. So, of course, we found an abnormality. We found a pandemic that stopped me. We found surgeons that became ill that we couldn't do knee replacement. Oh, sure. Let's go get a CAT scan. We get it, and there's a blockage in one of the arteries of my heart. So we get it done. The technology is amazing. Did it right through my wrist. Did a stent in there. Cleaned it out. Put the stent in. Drove home that night, even they told me I couldn't. I felt fine. Drive home. They put me on these blood thinners. I was on the blood thinners prior to the surgery, and I was losing blood that way, yes. There's no good way, but there's even worse way. I stopped the blood thinners going into the surgery, and I told them. So immediately they just pumped me full of more blood thinners prior to the surgery. I drove home, and next day I was starting to have that blood situation again. And I had it for quite a while. At one point, I was telling the doctor, I said, if we don't do something, not be losing blood. I won't have any blood to my heart to pump. They tell me to take Pepto-Bismol and Tums. Well, one night, I could no longer breathe because you have no oxygen. Your blood carries your oxygen. My normal blood count is 16. I was down to like 4.2. Couldn't breathe, almost passing out. Take me to the hospital. I'm there for 8 days. They get me in there. They found out how low I was. They started pumping blood into me left and right. So I can't get my knees done. Because with the stent, you got to get 6 months before you get the knees done. So I'm looking at September. Not what I don't know what the difference would be now and then. It's still the same stent because they want to take you off the blood thinners. I want to figure out some way of getting off these blood thinners. I'm like a friggin' banana now. I bruise. No matter what I do, I bruise. So you survive all this. And I'm going for a blood work Friday, hopefully, in the normal range now. I'm feeling good, but the heat's problem. That's with the blood thinners. The real impact of sickness comes when you get the bills. I get Medicare. So Medicare paid most of it. I get bills from everywhere. Now, the hospital, I go to the hospital like $4,000, and RWJ will let you pay it in time. They'll give you, it's like $205 a month, something like that. But the thing is, you're getting hit like every day with bills. You know, who's this guy? Open this is some doctor from somewhere. $280 or $247 or $210. I don't even know who these people are. You know, it turns out, now you might have been lying in bed, and somebody came in and looked at you, and they left. That's $5,000. That's like that Will Ferrell at SNL, where we misplaced your baby, and Molly Shannon can't keep it straight. Well, Tim Meadows comes in for a consultation between these Molly Shannon, her husband, and Will Ferrell, and he comes in and he just does the robot dance, and he finishes. He goes, "That'll be $5,000," and he leaves. Yeah, that's what happens here. You got doctors that looked in the door. You got doctors that peeked at you. Doctor might have come in and said, "How you feeling?" 5,000, 5,000, 5,000, 5,000, 3,000. And Medicare pays most of that. But you get these, and well, that's real money, $200, $300. They're annoying bills, and they don't stop. You pay that, and you say, "All right, I'm catching up here, so I want to start paying the hospital. But I got to pay their surrogates also." So I know the hospitals think you're doing your deal. We'll give you a payment plan. You don't realize I got your one bill and about 20 others coming from doctors I have no idea who they are. Cardiologists, the blood guys, the endoscope guys, the guy that did the colonoscopy. I don't like that guy. The same guy that did the endoscope. But I will say, Dr. Rosso, he is a Jersey City guy. Every time I met him, I just seen Jersey City guy here with this fella. But every time I turn around, the mailman comes. Here's another bill for you. This guy actually winked at you one time, so you may want to pay him fast because he would seem to be nice to you. It's incredible. Like anybody who just stopped by the bed. I'm surprised I don't get anything from the nutritionist. Yeah, I brought you food. Here's the bill. Don't you get the food for free? Nah, you don't get that for free. But it is no end. It's like nobody you can call either to say, you know. And you get this scroll from Medicare, what they paid, and it ends. And then when you pay this one guy that did the surgery, I think it's him. It was $278. I paid it. The check's still out there. And I just got another bill from the guy for the same thing, $278. I mailed the thing like 3 weeks ago. Not only, medical billing is problematic. I think that's one of the things Murphy said, listen, we can't put you in a collection anymore for medical billing because you guys suck at medical billing. And that's it. I sent the check 3 weeks ago and still haven't cashed it. I'll take a break. You're listening to City Show Radio here on GGO. We'll be right back.
Panapinto Properties, Jersey City, shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces and addresses your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panapintodevelopment.com. Panapinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Good Friend Self-Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer a Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self-Storage. Let us be your good friend.
We're back. Got about 4 minutes, 10 seconds left of the show here. Hot out there today, huh? Man, it was hot. Like I said, when I got to the studio here, the building, I took my little Chevy today. I came up from Seaside Heights, especially in the summer. My wife's never coming back. I don't think she's coming back to Jersey City. So I think I am Jersey City, Seaside Heights. I got to live in these two cities. I got this Chevy Evo. It gives me 35 miles to the gallon. It's a good little car until I start thinking about how much money I just put into this good little car. Just did the front calipers, did the front rotors, did the front brakes. Get it out of CNC. That's my shop down in Toms River. At the minute I take it out, the engine light comes on. I'm like, run my code. Now I'm looking at O2 sensors. I have to get to O2 sensors. I did an oil change on it. Just did a transmission filter on it. So I brought it up here today. I was like super hot, so I want to take the little car, but the little car's got to go. Actually, that did pretty good. The problem is the gas prices are insane. But I tell you, I know as we get into the summer's only a couple of days old. It's going to be some real hot days. I'm seeing a real hot summer popping up this year. Now, we got my 2 big air conditioners. It's not too bad in here now. But, if we put those air conditioners on like full blast, they start to overheat. That's what we were having a problem with last year. So we keep an eye on them this year. And it's like, I don't know what the temperature is out there now. When I started the show, it was 92 degrees. And the other problem, the humidity was high, 93, and the humidity was like in the 70%. It is atrocious out there. And again, with the little car, I want to get fuel mileage, so I'm not using the air conditioner. The whole thing, like I just said, I just put like $85 in the van. I spent almost $250 on fuel this week. I'm filling all the cars up. That little car there will go back and forth from Seaside to Jersey City for like $14. My Lincoln, I would laugh at you. It warms up on $14. The van, it wouldn't even start for $14. Now, my Oldsmobile's not too bad. I got a 31-year-old Oldsmobile. She's not too bad fuel-wise. But I got the Chevy Evo, and we just picked up, I guess I'll take that tomorrow, see what the mileage is on. We got a Ford Transit Connect for the high school program. The idea is we're going to put the equipment in. The kids can call baseball games, football games, whatever sporting events or high school events. Good little truck. We got it with about 53,000 miles on it. I used it a few times up here. I just did some work on that also. I just did the rear brakes on it. Some minor repairs. I got a brake kit for the front. It was on sale, so I figured I'd buy it. And I'm going to bring it over to Juan here at Juan Auto Repairs on Patterson Plank Road by the Basics, and let Juan do a transmission filter. I want to replace all the hoses and belts. It's got 54,000 miles. I'm sure it'll last a little while. I don't want the hoses or belts popping when the kids are out there. But it is quite hot. For that matter, your air quality index for today is 105. That's moderate, but if you got some lung conditions, you're elderly or young, probably stay inside. Go to movies. Go to movies, sit in the air conditioner, stay in the air conditioner. If you can't do that, go to the website for the County of Hudson or Jersey City, North Bergen. They all got their cooling centers open. Find out where they are. Go into the cooling areas. Take the necessary precautions. It's extreme heat. You got some bad air. Just stay home. Just stay home. Keep the windows closed. Turn the air on. That's the best thing to do. But put it this way. At least it ain't snow, right? All right, we're at a show. You be good. You be safe. Don't forget, tomorrow, 1 o'clock, we got NJCU. They'll be talking to some of my high school kids here from North Bergen High School about their scholarships. They're toll free to call tomorrow. So remember, at 1 o'clock, you be good. You be safe. I'll talk to you next week. Good night.